Hi everyone, thank you very much for taking the time to attend today's presentation. I'm Bianca, I'm a CTO at Unify. Unify is a Databricks focused consultancy. We only do Databricks. About myself, the background, thank you for already introducing me. I have experience into Power BI, more than 8 years. I have started the BI journey almost 10 years ago, actually with Tableau, switched to Power BI. And I'm continuing the journey on Databricks. Into the last 5 years, I've been focusing on Databricks, and I'm currently a Databricks champion. Before diving in, for those of you that haven't attended the previous session and you are not familiar with Databricks, I want to explain what Databricks is. So Databricks is a unified data and AI platform. It is built for technologies like PySpark, Delta Lake, and MLflow, and it's bringing together the data engineering, the machine learning, the analytics, the BI, the business side into one collaborative environment. And why is this important? Because you have all of your data into one single place and you are using only one tool. Essentially, unified version of your data. When we combine Databricks with Power BI, this is where the magic actually happens. The raw data, it's becoming, it's governed, so you have real-time insights. And today I will show you how to do that and set you up for success. I will show parallelism between what was difficult to do into Power BI and how it is to do it in Databricks. This session is designed for you. Please stop me at any point and ask questions. Okay, I'm not precious. We don't need to go through all the slides. If you have questions, as I said, please raise them. Okay. The agenda for today, so we will be covering 5 main areas: the Medallion architecture and why it matters, how you can connect Power BI with Databricks, the best practices for choosing between DirectQuery and import mode, and not only. A phased approach to optimization from data preparation to report design. And finally, we will have a troubleshooting steps and some lessons from real scenarios. And I prepared also a short demo, will be a 5 minutes demo to show you in Databricks how it looks and how you connect Power BI to it. And as I said, Q&A, we will take it as we go. So let's start with the foundation, the Medallion architecture. The Medallion architecture is a design pattern introduced by Databricks that organizes the data into 3 layers. Bronze is the raw data as it lands. The silver, it's cleaned and standardized data with duplicates being removed, and you have also the formatting of the data. You have also the gold. It is this is the stage where the data is being curated and is business ready to be optimized for analytics. Power BI should only connect to the gold layer so that the reports can use clean, governed, and optimized data. In Databricks, we don't just design this manually. We automate it with autoloader. What is autoloader? This is a streaming ingestion service that automatically detects and ingests the new files from cloud storage. It scales to millions of files and uses checkpoints for reliability. What that means? It means that you don't build your own ETL. It is much simpler having the autoloader. It is using also the Delta Life tables. The Data Life tables have actually been renamed since the Databricks Summit, but they still have the same functionality. They are called declarative pipelines. As the name stands, it's the declarative framework for building reliable pipelines. It handles the orchestration, error recovery, also the data quality expectations. So it's moving the data from the bronze to silver to gold. Together, the autoloader plus the DLT is bringing the Medallion architecture to life. Why is this matters to Power BI. And not only, because without the Medallion architecture, you might end up having a very fragile ATL pipelines where you need to define your own process, and you will have inconsistent reporting. With Medallion architecture, you will have scalable pipelines that grow with your business. It's very easy to scale up. You have centralized governance, and your BI team is just focusing onto the reporting instead of cleaning the messy data. I have prepared a demo for the autoloader and DLT using SQL. Okay, so it's very easily, and you will see it. I'm not here to teach you how to create DLTs right onto Power onto Databricks, more onto connecting Power BI, but I'm happy to provide more materials onto DLTs. I just wanted to give you an intro to see how easy it is to use SQL, have the gold layer where all the analytics is sitting, and after that connect to Power BI. So Power BI connects to Databricks through the SQL warehouse. What is the SQL warehouse? It's actually a compute optimized for BI workloads. But the real differentiator is the Unity Catalog. Unity Catalog is Databricks Center governance layer. It provides access controls down to row to column level, lineage tracking, so you can always know from where the data is coming and how it has been transformed. It comes with auditability, so you can track who accessed what always. You have full visibility across all your workspaces. That means that when you connect Databricks with Power BI, in Power BI, users can only see the data that they are entitled to. And analysts have full transparency into the data journey that is feeding into their reports. What that means, if there is bad data, you will spot it, but usually that will not happen because you are connecting at the gold layer. From Unity Catalog perspective, only dedicated users will have access, and coming from the Unity Catalog, you can't access direct files. So your data is always restricted. Have I heard the question?
Yeah, so one of the questions, and it might be you might want to get to it in a bit, it depends, is what are your thoughts on Databricks inbuilt dashboard functionality versus Power BI? And that's from Guru.
Okay, I will take that question. That's fine. So before answering, that into Databricks at the moment, you can automatically publish reports and tables from Unity Catalog datasets into Power BI service from your own pipeline. So you don't do any manually, force no duplication. This is a new feature. Responding dashboards into Databricks versus Power BI. This is a Power BI meetup. I'm not going to convince you to switch to the dashboards. What I can say is that Databricks is investing a lot into the functionality of the dashboards. They have now measures and calculations that are very similar to what you can do with DAX into Power BI, and are much simpler because it is using SQL. It is also a preference, but also a business approach. If your business is used with Power BI, you need to take in consideration that challenge of moving them into dashboards into Databricks. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I think so. So basically, at the moment, Power BI has a bit more functionality, but Databricks are catching up quickly.
Yes. That's the short answer, I would say. What is the takeaway on this slide? Coming back to it, the Databricks differentiator and why to use Power BI plus Databricks is like unlike other platforms, Unity Catalogs gives you end-to-end visibility and governance and lineage, so you know always from where your data is coming, and it's ensuring that the data that you are consuming into your Power BI dashboards are built on trusted foundations. Essentially, it's reducing the garbage data. Any more questions before moving into the next slide?
No questions. Jake's just mentioned Databricks and Microsoft are developing in opposite directions.
I do not have insights on that. At the Databricks Summit, actually, the Microsoft CEO was present and reinforced the Databricks commitment, growth. So I will not say that they are going on to different directions.
Okay.
But Microsoft is building also other tools. AWS is building also other tools. It's a free market. They still have a very good relationship.
Yeah. Just the Databricks Lake to reports, Microsoft report to Lake.
Sorry?
Jake's put Databricks Lake to reports, and Microsoft report to Lake. But don't worry, I think we can chat about that later.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there did seem at the Microsoft conference, there seemed to be more of a collaboration as well.
100%. It's a collaboration rather than being, a conflict relationship between.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Okay. So one of the most common questions I get is, should I use DirectQuery or import mode? So DirectQuery, and probably this is generally available for everything that you do within Power BI. It's best for the large fact tables. Queries go directly to the Databricks SQL endpoint, ensuring the real time. But performance will depend on your SQL warehouse sizing and concurrency. I always recommend using, if possible, the serverless option. The dual mode is ideal for dimension tables. Power BI can cache when possible, but still query live if needed. This hybrid approach balances the performance with freshness. Import mode is perfect for small, static reference data. Reports are super fast since everything runs in memory. Traditionally, I will say that import mode relies on schedule refresh in Power BI service. However, there is an improvement to this schedule refresh into Power BI. Instead of using a schedule refresh, you can orchestrate this in Databricks workflows. So when your pipeline finish, your data pipeline that is having is running the Medallion architecture, you have the data into the cold layer. When your data is finished, data pipeline is finished, it can trigger Power BI dataset refresh via the Power BI REST API. So you can add even a 3-5 minutes wait, depending on your data volume. I assume will be very small, so 3 minutes should be enough. And keep checking the refresh status. This way you capture if it finished successfully or failed. The big benefit is that the old orchestration and notifications lives in one place. And instead of having the schedule refresh running every 30 minutes, every hour, every one day, it is only running if the data pipeline finished with success. The best practice actually for Databricks is a hybrid setup. Sorry?
No, it's okay. Carry on. So is there a cost to that?
There is a cost, but the only cost is for using the SQL endpoint.
Okay.
If it's in direct mode. There is no other cost, I will say. There is the cost associated again for running the Delta Live table, but again is for the compute.
Right.
And for the storage of the data, depending on the type of storage that you have in Databricks, which can be managed or external.
Okay.
The best practice for Databricks plus Power BI is actually hybrid setup, dual for the dimensions, import for small lookups with Databricks orchestrating the refreshes for maximum governance and reliability. Because you have, if you do the orchestration in Databricks, you can have in there all the notifications, and you have in one system. Again, you don't need to go to Power BI service to check it. But again, it is relying on the Power BI REST APIs. Without those, you can't actually have this triggering this workflow. There was a question which I'm happy to take before moving on to the next slide.
Yeah, so just a comment. So someone thinks that there's an integration now to trigger a refresh rather than calling an API. Don't know whether that was a new feature.
It's a new feature. It I think it's still in preview. The last time I checked, but you can have now a published data set from Power BI, which I will show.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay. I would like to put more structure around this data practices, best practices, as we call it. And we group this into 4 phases. We have the data preparation, the SQL serving, the Power BI integration, and the report design. Onto the data preparation, I will say that always adopt Medallion architecture onto the data lake and always connect to the gold layer, because in there you have your analytics. It should be specific to the business, and this will reduce the need of modeling into Power BI heavily. The modeling in Power BI is still needed. But if you think of the complex DAX queries that, for example, to compare sales from year 1 to year 2 to year 4, or using time traveling and having the calculations into Databricks is much easier, and you will have ready the data and you will just connect to that and you will have it. So no need to write those DAX functions. Always build star schemas, but this is generally available for Power BI. It's a standard, I will say, if you are looking at optimizing. Use clustering, the ordering, and optimize to speed queries. This is specific to Databricks performance. If you are familiar with it, you know what I'm referring. So it's about the query optimization. Always look at the compute stats, and if possible, use the serverless option. Always use the SQL warehouses, not all-purpose clusters when connecting. Regarding the SQL serving, as you mentioned, the SQL warehouse is best for price and performance. You need to choose the right size of the clusters if you are not using serverless. And you should separate the warehouses per workload. You should not use the same one for every single thing that you are doing within Power BI. Also, you should monitor the query history to tune performance. Power BI integration, you should always connect with using the SSO through the Unity catalog, as I mentioned before. Do not connect directly to the files. Use parameters to switch between environments. Actually, when you are building, when you are setting up the Databricks environment, as a best practice, you should have at least 3 workspaces for test, dev, and production. And you can test with data from both environments and only publish into production once you have done all the testing. Publish directly from Unity catalog into Power BI service. It's a feature that is available now, so you don't need to download the file, which I will still show you how to do it. But you can publish directly into Power BI service. You can use gateway clusters for secure connectivity if needed, if they are not, I don't know, networking, if you need to separate, and so on. Onto the Power BI report design, I think what I'm going to say is generally available, not only for Databricks. You should limit the visuals per page. use automatic or user-defined aggregations, avoid many-to-many relationships. You should not have that into your model. Push the transformations down to the Databricks level instead of DAX. That is the takeaway from this session, if you wish. You can use SQL. You can run pipelines using SQL. You can use including AI functions. Just write a single line of code, select AI summarize or AI analyze sentiment on your document, and you will have a full feedback from customers. And it's just one piece of line. And if you were to do that in DAX, it will be massive, right? And just import the results into Power BI. And the last one, I will say, avoid DAX calculated columns, compute them into the gold layer and not have it columns, because that kills your Power BI report as well, depending on the data set. It's not general available what I'm saying, and this depends to case, but broad, these are general best practices. Some lesson learned. So you should design your schema from early stages. You should bake in governance from day one, because you want to restrict the access. The right SQL warehouse will make the difference, and using serverless as well. Yes, serverless, it can be pricey. So if you want to go with the serving with the general compute, still SQL endpoint, you need to come up with the right sizes depending on your data volume. Hybrid mode, DirectQuery plus dual plus import is the sweet spot for most enterprises. Okay, there is no recipe into using just DirectQuery or just import mode. It will depend on your data, but hybrid mode is most likely to be more optim for this business scenario. I haven't had a project where I have only used DirectQuery. Okay, it was a mixed. To the troubleshooting. How to do troubleshooting? I think, again, this is more general onto the Power BI. And if you are doing Power BI now for a couple of years or more, you should be familiar with this. You need to identify the slow visuals. You need to use the performance analyzer into Databricks. And you need to recheck the storage modes. This is just a guideline. You can do even more. You can look at the query levels and so on. Following the best practice avoids the slow report syndrome, but it's not always about the best practices. Sometimes, it depends also on to the business requirements, because we are not here to build dashboards for ourselves as data analysts. We are building dashboards for the stakeholders. So sometimes it might depend on to the request that you have. If you are analyzing year one versus, 20 years ago, because they want to see the full performance of the company, you might still get slow reports. It will depend. So do not panic if you have a slow report. I will say just take step by step. There is cheat sheet created by two Databricks solutions architects, Databricks employees, David Veneziano and Andre. I do not know how to pronounce his surname, unfortunately. But you can use this cheat sheet if you are working with the Databricks and Power BI. And that's the end of the presentation. I'm happy to take questions. And after that, I will switch to the demo.
No questions as such, Bianca. It's just sort of a few a few comments in the chat. I think we're all sort of looking forward to seeing the demos. And for me, it always makes sense when you can you see things happening. So I always like that bit.
All right, let me go from the presentation into the Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Before going on to the presentation, I just want to give you also the blog created by the
Perfect. Brilliant.
solutions architects at Databricks.
Which do you prefer working with?
Sorry?
Which do you prefer working with? Databricks or BI?
So nowadays I work only on Databricks, but most our customers have Power BI, and I need to do integration within Power BI. I would say it's not a preference; it's more about the customer demand. As I have experience into Power BI, I still like doing some of the reports, and I look at optimizing. But I must admit my focus nowadays is onto the data engineering side and data architecture and bridging the gap between the business side and the technology as Chief Data Officer at Unify.
Okay, just a quick question from Roddle. It hasn't been discussed yet, Roddle. So just personal access token, the maximum expiry is 30 days. Is there any way to have a maximum like 6 months without keeping authenticating?
We haven't touched that is part of the demo, and we can look at it. Personal
No problem.
access.
We can talk about it during the demo. Thank you, Roddle.
Okay. Into the chat, I have posted the links. Okay. I'm currently using the Unify Dev environment to showcase this demo. We have multiple pipelines in here, as you can see. Today we are looking at the DLT demo. First of all, it is very graphly, so even if you don't know how to write code, you can see it in here. Very simple. You write the SQL and you will have your pipeline. Let's look at the source code and you will understand what I am saying. So if we look at the pipeline, it's just a streaming table. I'm just reading from the volume. I will not go to explain what is a volume and so on, but think of this as your system files where you have your data. Usually in real life, you don't have your data just into volumes. You probably have into a blob storage or onto a landing zone. It depends. Does the volume of data matters for choosing between? Okay, it's not choosing between, just to answer the last question, it is the complementary. It's not the Databricks versus Power BI, it's making use of Databricks into Power BI world. Data volume plays a role, and this is where you are choosing for the fact table, the direct query, and using the SQL endpoint for querying the data.
Yeah, I think it's referring, because this is looking remarkably like Fabric. So, from my understanding is Databricks came first, but what I'm looking at now is very similar to Fabric with the different Medallion architecture and then, sort of the pipelines.
It's similar with the caveat that Fabric is more of a baby in this area, I would say. Again, it will depend on to the client setup, but the database has more maturity, especially if we are talking about CI/CD implementation and even AB Genie AI features that are ready to use for the user without any need of developing a new tool or integrating with AI without the knowledge that you need to have it. Again, it depends on to the customer setup. It's not a battle, it's choosing. And sometimes you can even use both of them depending on the scenario. Mm-hmm. Myself, I do not do any work on Fabric, but I'm sure that we have a few specialists in here that can tell me when to use it and what will be.
I'm not sure
Fabric.
I'm not sure if it's the volume of data. I think it's probably more the customer preference and what they're using now, and difference in architecture views. But as you said, Databricks is sort of longer established, isn't it, than Fabric?
Yes, 100%. It's more established, and as I said, onto the CI/CD, having full integration and deployment. Databricks is more mature on that area, and it's easier to do. If Fabric will catch up, we will see. We never know.
Yeah, thank you for the question.
I just wanted to show you how easily it is to create a table and to have your data into a pipeline. And we have the pipeline graph, and we can see the silver as well. I'm going to start the compute. If I go onto the compute, you'll see that I have created a SQL warehouse. I just name it. Okay, it's not a Power BI related, but I just name it in this way so we know about it. It's a serverless. It is provisioned by Databricks. And I'm using this one to query the data. Onto the silver, we can already see the data. And if we are going to look at the columns, we can see the information. We have some table metrics as well, and also the performance. I'm just going to go onto the transformations, onto the SQL silver. Just a materialized view, just a casting. I haven't tried in here to put all the expectations or to create a complex pipeline. It's mostly to showcase that I'm just using SQL and then creating an end-to-end pipeline. And it's running within 1 minute at the moment. And for the gold, again, I'm just doing some to-date cast size, nothing too complicated. I'm just doing a transformation. Of course, in here, you can have all kinds of transformations at the gold layer, specifically for the customer needs. The pipeline run, it took 1 minute and 23 seconds. If we go onto the catalog, we can see the data. It's into this catalog. So regarding the organization of the data in here, I made it very specifically. Okay, bronze is into bronze, silver is into silver, gold in this gold. In real life, you don't actually organize in this mode. You will have it by product, by organization that you are part in, teams maybe. It will be very specific to the business unit maybe. So it will depend. Okay, this is not a recipe how it should look. It's actually just a showcase that the data exists. So if we go on to the bronze, we see it, but I want to go to the gold because this is where we are going to connect our Power BI report. Okay, we can see already in here that there is a feature. Okay, out of box, you don't do anything. You can open in Power BI desktop. You can explore it into Tableau. We are not here for Tableau, but you can do it as well. And you can publish to Power BI workspace the data directly. And yes, you don't need to schedule anymore the refresh if you don't wish to. It's more to add on that, but you can publish directly to the Power BI workspace. Most of the time, you will need to open into Power BI desktop because you still want to do some data modeling. Okay, and this is why I made a recommendation to have that triggered data, because you might have into your Power BI further modeling. But you can do it also from the Power BI workspace. It depends, because Power BI evolved a lot. I haven't used it probably into the last year. Proper development, as in end-to-end reports, dashboards, access, and so on. But if we open into Power BI desktop, it is going to download the connection file. I'm always nervous when I'm doing live demos, what goes right and what not. Okay, we can see that
Don't worry.
it has downloaded. The idea is that when you download the file, the connection string is already there. You don't need to go and do that manually. How to change my screen to this one? Let me see.
Ah, nice.
Okay. So we can see already that it opened out without me doing anything. All right, I can select the tables that I want. I connected at the code layer, so we can just load the data. We can transform. We can do anything else onto Power BI. I just selected both of them. And now if we go on the model view and press on it and go on to advanced, we can see that it's direct query. We can change this to any to that we want.
Christina said he thinks the pop-ups are not displaying. Don't know what that means.
Regarding the connection strings, it has used, because I'm connected, it has used the SQL endpoint, and I was already authenticated on it. I used the SSO. I haven't used the token. You can use the token. Most of the time, I think you will not use the SSO if, I mean, depends. All right, I'm not here to teach you how to do things onto Power BI. Probably you are in a better position, but I will argue that why you need the token. It's any specific scenario why you need a token and not use this type of authentication. Are you using a service principal for the reporting? Why you need coming back to the question regarding the 6 months or how much was into the chat. If you can give us some details.
Yeah. So it comes in as direct query mode, which makes sense.
So, Rodel, can you please expand onto the personal access token, why you will need 6 months, what you are doing, because without that, it's very hard for me to advise.
Yeah, he might come. Give him a minute or two.
Okay.
So it comes in direct query mode. Did you say you can change it to import? Or...
Yes. Yeah. If you go on to advanced.
Yeah.
Is the storage mode, and here you can change to import, and it's telling you the implications, and you can change also to dual. You can change.
I think that's what Casina says. The pop-ups aren't displaying on our screen.
Sorry. How can I do that?
It might be that you're sharing a view rather than the screen. When you click on share, it might be saying that you need to share the whole screen rather than the actual, just the view. So when you click on share, it usually gives you the option as to whether you want to.
Okay, screen. Okay.
Yeah, that looks better.
Okay, so I'm into the model view. I just clicked on the one of the tables. Okay. And in here you have advanced.
Brilliant. Yeah, showing now.
And in here you have direct query, and I can switch to import, and it's giving you this. Has the authentication just went on because I was there ready, but I use the SS. I haven't used the token. You can generate a token and authenticate with the token as well. And you can do everything that you are doing within Power BI. There is no restrictions in here. And I'm using the SQL endpoint that I shared before.
Yeah. So you can choose whether you want it, which mode you want it when you bring it in.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is the demo. I didn't went far away to create a dashboard into Power BI because I think you will be in a better position, to be honest, for that. But there is no restriction in regards of what you are doing within the Power BI. Once you have the data, you are free to do all your dashboards, all your calculations, write all your DAX, go and create a new measure, new column, the calculations group. You can add new roles. You can publish to Power BI service. We saw that you can publish directly also from Databricks.
Mm.
And you can just go ahead and create your model as well.
And so it's just another data source really that you can bring in, but if you've got Databricks, you've got more power in the Databricks end to do your transformations.
In the simplest way, yes, but Databricks is more than that. It's your unified data because with all the features that Databricks have, you can connect to multiple data sources and you have one single view of your data, one through, not going through multiple hoops to get your data in, and not relying on import mode and onto the complexity of optimizing the Power BI reports if you have that at the gold layer.
Okay, we've got more comments. No, that's really interesting. That makes sense. So in a sense, it's doing what Fabric in its early days is allowing us to do in BI, in that we can pull things in from Lakehouse and use notebooks and pipelines to transform it and change, so it's in a way Fabric is replicating some of the functionality within Databricks, but is, in its early days as opposed to Databricks, which is established. It'll be interesting I don't know enough about Databricks to know the different cost implications of using one or the other. I guess if you're established in Databricks, you're going to stay in Databricks if you're happy. But if you're new to, using something like Databricks or Fabric, it would be interesting to see the costs.
So the cost, it's a broader discussion. As at Unify, when we are deploying a solution, we are putting a tagging strategy in place and giving people a full transparency onto the cost, and comes with full dashboards within Databricks, but also onto Power BI if they want that. And you are able to track the cost from the resource for every single pipeline, for every single table, for every artifact that you have into Databricks and you are using. Now, comparing the cost between the two it depends on what you are doing. Into Databricks, you are paying for compute and storage if it's managed and you are not using any blob, for example. Yeah. But in Fabric, you still have the storage from the blob. You are still paying the compute. It will depend onto the options. There is to be able to give a full transparent answer, we should upload the same data set, do performance testing, and after that to see the cost. But most likely it is coming the same. I will not say one is more pricey than
no. It's just interesting because it's quite difficult sometimes to understand pricing. So within Databricks, you can work out the pricing for each thing that you do. So if you're using so every separate pipeline has a price, and that then gives you. So you've got
I will not say every single pipeline, right? If you implement a tagging strategy. Okay, so you know the purpose of the job, you know the purpose of the compute, and you are using only for that space. You can calculate, for example, the cost for the product. Right. Let's say that you have your data warehouse organized by product or by business unit. So you will know how to calculate the cost for your business unit that is using Databricks into that purpose. Because of the tagging strategy. It doesn't come by default, but myself and my team put together a tagging strategy and an accelerator actually, and we will deploy out of box the solution, and we will retrieve all the data from the system billing tables from Databricks and provide nice dashboards. Also, you can have budget alerts within Databricks admin console, and the admin can be notified when the code was exceeded. That doesn't mean that everything into Databricks is going to be shut down, but at that point you can do your own investigation to see what is costing so much and why your budget is out of
scope. Okay, brilliant. We've got an answer to the question about the personal access token. Riddell says, if the model is published in Power BI service, the model is connected to Databricks using cloud connection, using a personal access token. And as Databricks only has 30 days token expiry maximum, how can we extend that without generating a new token manually and apply that to that connection before expiry?
Okay, so first of all, CI/CD implementation and publishing of the pipelines. You should always not have more than 30 days. For 6 months. It's I will say that it's a concern that you have an expiry for the token. You should always rotate your tokens. All right. And most of the companies will have policies on rotating the tokens. For not doing that, you can go via the method that I just showed via the SSO notification, authentication, or you can have a service principal. But the idea is that you should always rotate your tokens for security reasons. And there is a reason why it's 30 days. It's a best practice, I will say. I will say to look onto your scenario, understand why you actually need for 6 months and 30 days is not enough. For some organizations, actually, for the ones that I have worked on to public sector, the tokens switch happened every 5 days, for example. So the 30 days.
How do they manage that, Bianca? Because I can appreciate you want to
CI/CD implementation. So you can generate that automatically. Database has endpoints. You can create groups, security groups, and manage those.
Yeah,
it's more onto the security and networking configuration.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just wondering whether Riddell means the model's connected to Databricks using cloud connection in Power BI service, whether that's the issue. And Alvin has said, what happens to the Power BI report if the access token is due to expire?
So if it's expiring, your Power BI report refresh is failing. Your data is not updated anymore. This is what will happen.
Yeah, I can understand why you would have it refreshing, but it's how to like you said, within Databricks, you can manage it within Databricks, but it's how you manage it if Riddell's doing it in Power BI service.
So there are workarounds to it and best practices that needs to be applied. I do not know the specific scenario in this case. But if you are doing a full CI/CD implementation, you should have security groups and you should be able to generate dynamically tokens and to change those part of your CI/CD. And at this point comes into play the refresh that I just showed.
Okay.
Power BI and trigger the refresh if needed. The Power BI service published from Databricks, the data I just shown, it doesn't solve every single scenario. This is why you need to look at the multiple ways of doing it and options.
Great.
Moving on, I can see that DLT very similar to DBT. I haven't used DBT myself. To be honest, I don't see the need of using neither with Fabric, neither with Databricks. It's there to those people that are using, but I do not see it as a necessity for any of the options. neither Fabrics, neither Databricks. Some organizations have it in parallel, but I will ask why. Why they need to put another framework that you need to manage, another licensing, another complexity into your workflow and to pipelines and so on. For me, it's a no, DBT, but it's just my opinion.
So why would it be a no for you? Obviously, you need to. It's another thing to manage, but does it give you an additional layer of
It doesn't
view?
give me any functionality that Databricks doesn't have. So I don't see the benefit of having it. It's just an additional cost because into Databricks you can do everything that DBT does and plus extra. You can have the AB Genie, you can have the AI functions, you can have the ML flow, the data scientist can have the feature store and connect to the silver layer. So you have everything already in one place. Why the need for DBT?
Okay.
I think we are in agreement with Ksenia, so there is no need for DBT. I am interested to see where they are going with their solution and how they will evolve in time. And it is similar also for Fabric. If we think why to use DBT with Fabric for which scenario, it's more of a question for you guys if you want to respond and you have a particular scenario that you are solving.
So yeah, how long did it take you to become a Databricks champion?
It's a tricky question, and I keep posting about this because people are asking me how I got all my certification in 6 months. It wasn't the 6 months, it wasn't a race, it was a career evolvement. Okay, yes, the certification is just a step, and the Databricks champion becoming it was just a recognition of the progress that I did. It was a 3 months program, I think. Between 3 and 6 months is the program. But before enrolling, you need to qualify and you need to be nominated to it. I will say do not add pressure on you to become a champion either on Databricks, neither on Fabric or any other. Focus onto the learning and do not focus neither onto the certifications. Apply first the knowledge because experience comes from implementing real projects or implementing projects. Certification is just showing that you have a learning.
Yeah, I don't know very much about Databricks or Databricks Champion. So is it like an MVP? You're awarded it when you do something, or is it?
So no, Databricks has also MVP status. Databricks Champion is more for the technical people that are doing technical implementations, that are going to the clients, that have specialized knowledge within Databricks at a high expertise level.
Oh, brilliant. Well done, you.
With the MVP is more about the community building and so on. But with the champion is more focusing onto the delivering onto the client side.
Okay. And so, and are there exams that you have to do to give you that experience, or is it just experiences?
Yes. Yes, so it's the experience. So you need to have at least 5 years experience into data engineering, data analyst, or architecture. Depends on your background, but at least 5 years. Plus, you need to take the Databricks associate and professional exams, depending on to the background. To know you have the certifications for data analysts, you have for the data engineering, and again for ML, and now you have for GenAI. For GenAI and data analysts are only the associates, so you will still need to take one of the professional exams. And part of it will be also a panel review. So you need to complete a number of projects that you will need to present to a panel review, and someone is interviewing you and answer to the questions, and you present a project.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. There you go, people, if you're interested in it. Question from Ovidio, hopefully I've pronounced it correctly, about modeling. Do you know of a case where a client implemented a data vault model in Databricks and then tried to build Power BI on top?
Data vault. It's another type of data modeling. It is still complement to Databricks. You can do it. If I know of a case of a client, not right now, but probably I can search for one and send details if you are interested into a scenario and a best practice.
Yeah, so if you reach out to Bianca on LinkedIn or something, then make contact that way. Okay, brilliant. Any last questions, or is that, or do you have anything else to need to drop? Oh, no problem. Bye, Charlotte. Any further points, Bianca, or have you covered most of what you wanted to cover?
I covered everything that I planned to. I want to take again the opportunity to thank you for participating. It was a pleasure. Please do reach out on LinkedIn. I'm happy to take more questions. I do actually have a group, Database Ask Me Anything. You can post your question in there and I will get back to you. Also on
Brilliant.
private messaging, and I will post also the Power BI. Sorry, not the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation. Keep in touch, and if you are interested into learning Databricks, I post a lot of content, so please keep in touch.
Brilliant. So do you want to pop, have you got your, I haven't got Anthony here to do the links for me. Rohit, the group name that you mentioned.
1 second, Databricks Ask Me Anything. I'm just going onto my LinkedIn, but also onto the group. And
let me find your LinkedIn for you and I'll pop it in there.
Thank you, Dave.
Brilliant.
They posted also the group.
That's been fascinating. It definitely seems like it's there's a lot of possibility for like synergy working between the two. I think I hear
100%.
Databricks. Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, there's lots of thank yous and an informative session. Any last questions for Bianca before we let her go? Nope, stunned them all into silence. Just put your thumbs up if you've been using Databricks. I've tinkered but not tinkered. So, yeah, Ksenia. Enjoy it, Ksenia and Dave. Well done, thank you. Jeremy's using it. So few. So hopefully it's given us all a bit of more information, and those of you that are using it, you've picked up 1 or 2 tips as well. But that was really good, Bianca. Thank you so much. It was fascinating. From Joyce, if one is new to Databricks, how would you suggest we get started? Good question, Joyce.
I have my own blog where I post resources and a path to getting the certifications. I will post as well in there. And on my LinkedIn, you will find lots of materials and how to get the certifications. And in Plus, with my colleague, Head of Architecture, Raman Gupta, we are going to start in October learning sessions, which are free, will be online, and you can attend. So
brilliant.
If you connect with me on LinkedIn, you can participate to those as well. There is no cost. It's free of charge.
Brilliant. You'll have to let me know, and then I can put it in the group as well. Dates for learning. Brilliant. Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure, and thank you everyone for joining us. Next week we've got I don't know anything about this, so this is going to be fascinating, but I do know the speaker. So we've got Ginger Grant, who's from the States, that I met at Dublin, I think, and in SQL Bits, and she's going to be talking about variable libraries, which have been introduced within Fabric to improve the development pipeline experience. So we're going to be learning a little bit more about CI/CD in Fabric. So this will be really interesting as well, to sort of to be able to compare the two and understand them all. The following week, no session because I'm in Vienna for FabCon. And then the week after, we've got our own Jake, who's going to take us through translytical task flows and building Sudoku. So what I love about this data world is there are so many ways that you can do things. So it's absolutely fascinating to learn. Thank you, Jeremy. And Jeremy's also put in a learning platform from Databricks that you can learn as well. So brilliant. So many solutions that we could possibly use. It's staying up to date. How do you stay up to date, Bianca?
So I participate to webinars. I go to meetups. I have my own Udemy account, and I do courses most of the time. With Databricks, I participate to most of the events that they have. So this is how I stay up to date with the features. My team is participating as well, and when I'm not on those calls, we have sessions, and they come back with the info and demo for the full team. And reading. I love reading on my own time, and most of the time I have technical books. So various ways, and because I go to the gym, sometimes I'm just listening.
Yes, I think we can all relate to that if we're sat here listening to you here and joining this podcast. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Have a great rest of the evening. Let me stop recording. Stop recording.
Thank you.
Recording.